So as we continue talking about decimal numbers, we want to take a look at the idea of adding and subtracting decimal numbers. Now, there's nothing really that spectacularly different about adding and subtracting decimal numbers than there are adding and subtracting whole numbers. The big rule is going to be line up your decimal points. No matter what you're doing, adding, subtracting decimal numbers, you're going to line up your decimal points. All right, let's take a look at just kind of a simple one here. Let's take a look at a fairly simple problem here. Let's think about just subtraction here. 0 and 9/10 minus 0 and 1/10. Again, you'll notice here as I'm dividing or subtracting out on the place value chart, I've got my decimal points lined up. And I would just go ahead and subtract like I always would. 9 minus 8 is, or 9 minus 1 is 8. Decimal point minus decimal point, I'm going to leave my decimal point right there. It stays in that line. 0 minus 0 is 0. Simple as that. 9/10 minus 1/10 is 8/10. If I were to add, well, let's take a look at 0 and 36/100 plus 0 and 18/100. Again, I'm keeping everything in line by my decimal points, keeping my place values in line. And then I would just add like I always would. 6 plus 8 is 14. That's a 4. Then I would carry my 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. My decimal point plus my decimal point. I'm going to put that decimal point right there. 0 plus 0 is 0. Same as regular adding and subtracting. Just keep your decimal points lined up. Let's say I do something a little different. I'm going to subtract. I've got a whole number here. 5 and 5/10 minus 0 and 38/100. Okay, now wait. I've got a gap. I've got this hole in the hundredths place in the top number. Right. I can put in a space-filling 0. Okay. It does not change the value of 5 and 5/10. It only changes its name from 5 and 5/10 to now 5 and 50/100. And then I would go ahead and subtract as usual. I'm going to have to borrow because I cannot do 0 minus 8. So I borrow from the 5. It becomes a 4. I take those 10/10 over to the hundredths column. Now I have 10 minus 8, which is 2. 4 minus 3, which is 1. My decimal point stays there because I'm keeping it lined up. And 5 minus 0 is 5. All right. So nothing really changes in that. We're still borrowing, still adding and subtracting, keeping things lined up the way we always would. Let's do 3 and 85/100 plus 1 and 69/100. Okay, everything's still lined up. Decimal points are lined up. Let's go ahead and add and see how that works. 5 plus 9, 14, carry my 1. 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 6 is 15, carry my 1. My decimal point stays right where it was at, in between the ones and the tenths. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So my final answer is 5 and 54/100. Adding and subtracting decimal numbers is the exact same as adding and subtracting whole numbers. You still have to borrow. You're still going to have to carry. The big rule is line up your decimal points. Always line up your decimal points. So when adding and subtracting decimal numbers, the big rule, line up your decimal points.